Bombardiro crocodilo.
Middle on Mirage is one of the most important places on any map for taking control early round, as if you're not throwing good utility, it's really easy for CT side to really just take control and look for kills. So it's really important to throw good utility so you're not just relying on your aim any given day. First of all, one of the most important pieces of utility is a top mid smoke if you really don't have any plan, because it allows you to get over towards the boxes. The problem is that most players are throwing the old CSGO lineup, where when it goes out, you'll notice that it actually has a drop towards mid, and makes it so if you're running out con as a CT, you can see the cross, but then you also have this little space to hide and play towards mid. Instead of throwing the old smoke, there's 3 different lineups for the same smoke in spawn. The first one is beside this garbage can, where if you come up to this spot right here and just aim at the tip of this antenna and throw, that's going to be the first lineup for the proper top mid smoke. The second lineup is in this corner. If you get into this corner off spawn, crouch, look at the tip of this wood, stand up and throw, it's the exact same smoke as the other one. The third lineup is from this corner, and if you get into this corner and aim in the middle of this cross section of the antenna, you can throw the exact same smoke again. The one big counter to this smoke is that CTs are opting to throw an HE at the smoke to fight up towards the cross and mid. A player from window can look at the left side of this antenna and walk 1 step and throw. It'll blow up the smoke entirely so they can watch the cross. CTs also throw this nade by aiming at the left side of this antenna and doing like a double click walk throw for 2 steps or 1 step. It does the same effect, and you can also do the same thing from here where you just aim at the top of this with a double click and walk throw, and it'll also blow up the cross smoke. An important point is that when you're HEing the top mid smoke, you can also do it on the T side. If you want to get a player to get a quick pick towards mid, valley, or window, you can blow up the smoke yourself by getting in line with this wood here near TV room, looking at the bottom of the lantern where the nub is, and just jump throwing. The next part of mid is dealing with connector in some sort of way. You can smoke off bottom connector by getting into the same spot where you smoke top mid. And if you look at the carpet, there's like stairs looking things on the right side, and if you aim at the second step up and jump throw, the smoke flies and hits the first step, or second step, which means that it goes all the way to the top of connector, and that allows you to kind of not worry about this connector position for the first 20 seconds of mid control. If you're taking more of a slowed, laid back approach, you can also do the same smoke by getting in this corner and aiming in the middle of the satellite and throwing. That smoke will go in the exact same spot. A more popular way of dealing with connector is molotoving it right away to stop a push. The only problem with this is that sometimes you can't see because the top mid smoke is down. If the smoke is down, if you just aim at this corner and you run and walk once you hit the shadow here, you can throw this molly every single time, landing up here and bleeding all the way down, and it stops a peek, but it also stops a CT from wanting to run out. One big problem is that you'll always see CTs running out of con to peek Underpass, and your Underpass player is kind of left out to dry sometimes. If you want to help the Underpass player, if you just come up mid without peeking connector and aim at the bottom left of this window here, you can run throw a Molotov that's going to bounce in such a way that if somebody runs out con, they can't take any of these angles in mid, but they also can't run and immediately peek this Underpass without taking a little bit of damage, and that player will hear that. If your team isn't throwing an instant window smoke and you just want to throw the regular one, if you get in the front side of this garbage can, hold your D key and aim in this kind of cross section between the wall and the top of this railing, you can just throw the regular window smoke that's always going to hit properly. There's going to be those situations where you're top mid and there's no window smoke or no utility at all, and you still want to smoke it off or deal with that. If you get into this corner and aim at this corner here and run until your crosser reaches the end of the shadow, you can jump throw a molly that bounces against the wall, and it goes perfectly into window, and you didn't peek at all from top mid. Using the same lineup, you can also throw a smoke, and this smoke is good because you're not peeking at all, and usually the smoke in Go wouldn't actually cover everything, but in CS2 you'll see that there's only a little bit of a gap on this right side of the window, which you can't really use, and if there's a wisp that comes up, you'll be able to know that and be able to spam somebody if they want to peek. The last part of mid is dealing with cat. If you want to smoke off cat, get into this position here in this corner, aim in line with this wooden part all the way up to this line and just jump throw. The smoke will travel all the way through the air and land on top of this section of the bricks, not allowing anyone to boost there, but also blocking off this position while leaving a little bit of a gap so you can see CTs cross into this ladder room. An old CSGO tech that still works this day is bouncing grenades against this angular wall to attack cat and bricks. If you have a flash, you can kind of aim towards the lower section of the wall and do a run jump throw. The way it pops is that it's always going to be kind of near this carpet, so sometimes it'll go behind it, and it blinds anyone that's holding bricks. You can also Molotov off bricks by aiming in the same spot and kind of being in the middle of cat and doing a run throw like that. If a CT really wants to fight, they're going to have to take damage to fight you for cat.